Disclaimer: this video is going to talk about a what if scenario AU of Undertale that I have been working on for a year. If enough people show support towards it, I plan on making it basically an audiobook for you guys to listen on YouTube. So stay tuned to know what this AU is about. Welcome everyone to the Halloween special that I have basically come up with in less than a week. I have been working on an AU based on Undertale for like past year or so, and I have been writing a fan fiction about it on Wattpad.com. And this video is basically going to be an introduction and of this AU to all my YouTube viewers, because I have never mentioned this AU ever before on my channel, and now is my chance to do it because, well, I have nothing else to do as a Halloween special. So basically, as the disclaimer already stated, this AU is basically going to be based on a few what if scenarios, which, in case if you don't know, are basically what would have happened and in the story of a particular story if a character did something instead of something else. And for Undertale, as you have probably already guessed, this is like very in character with Undertale. After all, the all the major routes in the game are literally what if scenarios of each other, where Frisk does different things, or well, we make them do different things more accurately. So when I first had this idea, I just kept on thinking about it. The main three things that I concentrated on were: one, what would have happened if Toriel and Asgore's divorce basically went a little differently. Two, what if Flowey didn't turn evil at all. And three, what if Papyrus was somehow able to join the Royal Guard at some point. Now, I'm going to discuss these what if scenarios and what I think they would have. I tried to make this AU mostly like in canon with Undertale, which is to say, I did not add any. Most of my headcanons did not make any impact on this AU. The AU, which I later named AnotherTale, basically revolves around everything being the same, other than a few things that basically have a butterfly effect on other things, and hence the story becomes different by the time Frisk enters the underground. The first alteration, as I've already mentioned, was the divorce between Toriel and Asgore. Firstly, the thing I wanted to change was the fact that Toriel basically deserted Asgore after he declared war. I did not change the fact that she still left to the ruins, because that would have changed a lot, and frankly, like literally everything else in the story would have changed, and I wanted this to still have some familiarity with Undertale. So while she still leaves for the ruins, her reasons for doing so, I have changed them, to be more precise. More accurately, in this AU, before leaving to the ruins, Toriel confronts Asgore about his declaration of war. But and this is like something like this is never mentioned to happen in Undertale. Asgore basically says to her in like more or less a traumatized state that he just said that in a fit of blind rage. Now, not to say that Toriel already probably couldn't have figured that out, but hearing it from him would have probably have some impact on her. And remember, at this point, while Asgore has declared war, he is still innocent in that he did not kill anyone. So Toril would be more patient with him and also understand the fact that he only did, because the monsters could not lose hope, especially after their last hope was destroyed by humanity. As such, in this AU, the first ever change is that while Toriel still lives for the ruins, she has more of an understanding towards Asgore, and instead of just going to the ruins just to protect the children, she is also doing it because she does not want Asgore to do something, that he is going to regret. And she knows how peaceful he is, so he doesn't she doesn't want Asgore to, you know, have to go through the pain of killing an innocent child. And one other side effect of this is that, if I remember properly, I made it so that she basically tells him that he is going to try to make sure that the humans basically, don't come to him. So when the humans do come to him, she is going to feel less anger towards Asgore. She is probably going to have it just a little in her mind, but mostly she is going to feel guilt towards Asgore. Or because, she basically said she was going to make sure the humans don't go near him, or at least she planned that, but, the humans ended up near him and he had to kill them. So, yeah, that's probably going to give her at least some guilt. And the second change, and the change that is basically going to affect all the other changes in the AU that I have planned, is the fact that after discovering briefly about how his power to reset, instead of doing things for the sake of curiosity, Azrael Dreamer, who still, I will give the name Flowey by the way, and the way I do it is somewhat hilarious. Just remember, he is still Asgore's son. Names aren't exactly Asgore's specialty. Anyway, instead of doing things for curiosity, he is going to do them because of the fact that he failed his sibling in being unable to kill humans, so that the monsters could go free. So in this version of the AU, I am going to make it so that instead of doing things for curiosity, Azrael instead tries to join the Royal Guard. Now you might be wondering, why exactly he does that? Well, we know that in Undertale, that Flowey, before discovering his ability to reset, spent about probably a decent time around both Toriel and Asgore because he wanted to try to feel their parental love. Only after being unable to do so did he consider the prospect of having to die, and hence that's what led him to resets. So in this AU, assuming that he learned about the souls and the Royal Guard from Asgore, or maybe even Toriel, in explaining to him why she abandoned her kingdom and left to the ruins, he would have probably learned the fact that the Royal Guard are now basically hunters for humans. So if he wants to try to get a soul, the last soul, to break the barrier, he is probably going to have to join them because they have the expertise in this kind of stuff. So, and then there is the third what if scenario. What if Papyrus was able to join in the Royal Guard? Well, as of the time of recording this, I have not delved too forward into this particular what if scenario still in the AU fanfiction, but rest assured that it will be like a major part in the upcoming chapters. And so now I would like to discuss a few changes that you know that are not explained in the going to be explained in the story, so I'm going to explain them right now. Firstly, the changes, the the relation between Sans and Flavi. In the original Undertale, and these two basically hated each other. Well, more so Flavi than Sans, but still, Flavi obviously hated Sans because, in his own words, Sans caused him a fair share of resets, probably during his genocide run. And Sans, while he doesn't remember resets, definitely has some like the same deja vu that Papyrus and Undyne feel after reset, and he probably also battled Flavi so many times that in his like subconscious mind, due to the deja vu, so the first thing he asks Frisk privately is if whether they know about Flavi. And remember, Sans, while he doesn't remember resets, he knows about them. So the fact that he questions a human about Flavi before resets is probably indicative that he subconsciously is very wary of Flavi specifically. And talking about Sans and resets, in this AU, as of the as of Flavi deciding to join the Royal Guard, Sans does not know that much about resets, if at all. And the reason for this is because in the genocide battle with Sans, regardless of whether you reset or not, in that route, Sans actually states that a massive anomaly is in the space-time continuum, to my knowledge. So if he's probably not talking about our resets, so he's probably talking about Flavi's resets. And remember, as I said, Flavi isn't going to do as many resets because he is not, basing his resets on curiosity this time. So Sans doesn't feel that much deja vu. He doesn't. So as such, he probably doesn't feel the need to research about resets that much. Well, unless the machine from which he is getting the reports about the resets is was made long time back, but that's never stated. So unless stated otherwise, I'm going to use it for this AU. And literally everything else about Sans, he's probably about Gaster and stuff. Sorry folks, I have decided, in order to not anger the fandom part that hates Gaster, that the reason Sans has the Gaster Blaster and his machine and everything else is going to be kept as vague as humanly possible. In which that whenever they are mentioned in such a vague way that they would make blurred pictures look like HD pictures. Now, one last thing that I'm going to mention is the character of Flavi himself. Flavi, if in case you don't remember, is basically not. He doesn't have even a semblance of what he had as Azrael. In that his entire character basically he changed due to the amount of resets he did. But in this AU, the character I'm going to use for Azrael / Flavi is I'm going to base his character on his part of his Deltarune character, but I'm going to make it a little different in that he is far more like willing to do a little violence, because let me just tell you that you know he watched one his sibling die in Undertale, which he didn't in Deltarune, at least to our knowledge, and two, he basically died at the hands of a hang an angry mob of humans. So yeah, that trauma is probably going to affect him. So yeah, his character is going to be a little more willing to do violence, but other than that, he is still like a kind character. You know, he is still, well, he's still a kid, despite what he claims. You know, despite what he says to Undyne. And in case you want context for that sentence, you probably need to watch. Either support my, support this AU so that I can post it on the YouTube channel, or just watch it on the, just read it. I am probably going to keep a link to the description for that AU down in the description. So yeah. Oh, and also one thing, as in case I didn't properly mention it, Sans and Fluffy do not hate each other. These what if scenarios are going to happen, and that's the AU. And in case you want further context, link in the description.